All right, guys, what is up? It is Tank from X106.5. Very, very excited and honored to be joined by Bert Kreischer. And, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Just looking over your sheet here, you've got so much going on. So for you to take the time means a lot, man. Really appreciate it.
No, I appreciate it, man. I've been looking forward to coming to Jacksonville my entire career.
Have you not ever been here?
Never been to Jacksonville. I mean, I've been to Jacksonville right when I graduated college. My buddy Chris Starkey got a job there. And we used to go to Jacksonville for our formal every year from Florida State. But, man, I've never performed in Jacksonville, and I always thought that I would do well in Jacksonville.
That is crazy to me that you've never been. You're from Florida, right?
Yeah, but they didn't have, like, a proper club the way, like, Orlando or Tampa or Miami did.
They don't.
So you had to wait until you did. And my buddy, one of my best friends, is from Florida as well, Tom Segura, and he just performed in Jacksonville recently. He was like, Jacksonville and Fort Myers. He was like, I can't believe you've never performed there.
Yeah. Well, the place you're playing is the Florida Theater. I don't know if you're familiar with it. If you've been up here a few times, incredible theater, man. It's beautiful, good place. That's actually where that's where I saw Tom Segura, same spot. So you're in for a treat, man. It's a really good place, and you're playing October the 11th. So there's still plenty of time to get tickets, and you can get those at bertbert.com. It's the place
Bert with an E, because 4 would be ridiculous.
Yes, I mean, you don't want to go 4.
Yeah. Bert.com was some guy's dog. He had a website dedicated to his dog.
That's really funny. You should have poisoned his dog. Just kidding. I'm not for poisoning dogs. Bert, so let's talk a little bit. Like, obviously, Secret Time on Netflix, that was huge. What a great special that was. And honestly, we know you as the Machine. And the Florida State, you're like a legendary party guy at Florida State. And
yeah, I got, like, in 1997, Rolling Stone magazine wrote an article about me calling me the #1 party animal in the country. And I literally thought it was from there that I would leap off. By the way, the day that came out, that Sunday, I had been at the TPC Championship in St. Augustine.
Nice.
So I'd been partying over there, and then all of a sudden came home, woke up hungover Monday morning, knock on the doors, FedEx, and it was the Rolling Stone magazine. And I thought, my life is set. I've got my path. This is how it's going to work. I'm just famous now. And then cut to 20 years later, I'm finally making my way to Jacksonville.
Well, how's that work, though? Like, you got to party hard at Florida State to become the #1. I mean, like, that's harder than being the best football player at Florida State. I mean, like, that's a legendary title. I'm honestly, Bert, to be 100% honest with you, I'm worried that you had sex with my wife because she also went to Florida State. So
no, that's not how I partied, sadly.
Okay, good, thank God.
My partying was all internal.
Okay, good, thank God.
But everyone's like, man, how many chicks did you bang? Dude, I only had sex with 2 chicks at Florida State.
Wow.
Yeah, well, I dated one girl for 5 years, and another girl for 2.
But you just knew how to rip the top off a party and just get down, though.
I think I'm loud. I think I have impulse control, and I know how to climb. So I would end up at the end of the night on Tennessee Street. I'd climb one of those light poles.
Oh, you meant literally climb.
There'd be 3,000 people in the street, and I'd yell at the top of my lungs, I have marijuana at my place. If you want some, come to my house. Do not tell the cops where I live.
Oh, my God,
and you would look
amazing.
at the cops just helpless, like, where does he live? Where does he live?
I thought you meant metaphorically climb. I thought you meant, like, climb up through the ranks.
Oh, no, I can climb.
Oh, my God, you still climb?
And last time I climbed was in Vietnam. I went rock climbing, yeah.
Oh, wow, look at that. And so the comedy, did that come, were you already into comedy when you were named the party animal? Or was that an afterwards of that? Or you just always knew you wanted to do comedy? How did that work?
I was that guy that everyone told me I should be a comedian. And when I did the interview with Rolling Stone, he was like, what's going to happen to you at the end? What's going to happen to you? Like, and I said, I'd like to be a comedian. And so this radio station in Tallahassee put on a show, like a stand-up comedy show. They put 4 comics in front of me, and I had to close it at the end doing 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I killed. I loved it. They offered me my own morning show, and I just said, screw it, I'm going to move to New York. So I moved to New York, started stand-up, 6 months later, Will Smith discovered me, moved out to L.A., and literally the rest is history. I kind of got into development in television, did a bunch of TV shows, and then 3 years ago, I did stand up the whole time, but then 3 years ago, I was on Travel Channel for 9 years, and I got fired, and I just was like, I'm dumping myself into stand-up. And so I've been literally touring hard, shooting specials since I got fired.
I thought Secret Time, man. I thought that was, I know that your comedy's supposed to get bad, but I thought it was like such a giant leap for you as far as like specials. I thought it was so good.
Oh, thanks.
And I thought I was like, wow, this is a guy who has matured, but also is still really funny and shows us what it's like to still be the same guy, but calm down a little bit. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a terrific special. And that's not all you do, man. You also have the Bert Cast, which is a lot of fun.
I do the podcast. I do the cooking show. The second podcast. I'm doing 2 scripted things this fall. And I think the key nowadays in this business is get your hands in as many pies as possible. Because when I got fired from Travel Channel, literally I was like, what am I going to do for money? Because that was where all my money was coming in.
Sure.
And then you go back on the road and your quote is so low because you haven't been doing the road for a while. And my buddies were like, let's just get your podcast monetized. And as soon as they did that, I was like, I was making more money than I was making on Travel Channel. And I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah.
And so now I'm just like, hey, man, you got a project? I'm in.
And I love too the where comedy is right now. I think
me too.
It's like I love Hinchcliffe and his podcast. I think is like one of my favorite things ever, and I love it when you guys go on there. Yeah, Kill Tony, and you guys go on there and you give people tips, and then like it's just you feel the community that there is in stand-up comedy right now with you guys and Jay Okerson and all these guys. And I think we're going through such a renaissance of comedy right now.
It's amazing how I've been in this business a while, but you've never seen community like this in comedy. It's always been competitive.
Right.
And for some reason, it's not competitive. It's people, in like an old wrestling term, putting each other over on their podcast and helping them move tickets and then being excited when people succeed.
Yes.
As opposed to jealousy. Man, there was so much jealousy in this business when I started, and for whatever reason, and I don't know if it's marijuana, I don't know if it's Rogan, I don't know if it's both, but there is such a positive energy in this business.
And you can sense it. And I think, I honestly think that there's enough to go around. You know what I mean? And like
yeah. Look, everyone, that's one of the cool things is, when Rogan kind of stood up for us about thievery, and that was like a real moment for artistic integrity in our business, where everyone was like, time to make your own stamp, have your own voice, be original in your own right, and stand out as your own. And you're right. I think there's plenty of room for everyone. Everyone does something a little different. And just look at everyone's podcast, for Christ's sake.
And, honestly, like you can go on a road trip and you could listen to everybody's podcast, and it's always there. You know what I mean? It's not like a live show that you miss. A podcast is always there.
Yeah, so, for the good and the bad. I mean, I've said some horrible things.
I love watching it though, because it's like getting to be a part of your life. I get to watch you in your house. You know what I mean? Like your kids and your dogs and everything's just going on around you. And then there's all these comedians and everybody's just talking. You guys are talking shop. I got to go to the Comedy Store, which, my God, that is you could feel it when you walk into that place. It's just, it's like a cathedral, and
it is crazy when you walk through that hallway and you see literally millions of dollars worth of comedians hanging out. Sebastian, Bill Burr, and Rogan just talking to each other, and you're like, holy crap, what would that ticket cost?
Well, what's crazy is like $30 at the Comedy Store. It's unbelievable.
Right? I know.
I saw Tom Arnold there one night, and that was an experience. He was gacked up like out of his mind. It was crazy. But God, it's so exciting to see you guys succeed. And I think that when, comedians, to me, like, you guys are the philosophers of our day.
I think some of us are, I won't include myself in that, but like Burr, Bert
Yep.
is probably one of the greatest minds I've ever met.
Yep.
Same with Joe. Same with, Ari. Ari's new specials all about being Jewish, and it's fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love being a part of this community, because I'm a fan of comedy first. Like I got into this because I thought comedy's great. I love giggling. Obviously, if you watch my act, you can tell I just love giggling. And dude, it's the best. Just sitting back and. I mean, it's like, did you see the post that Dice wrote about Bobby Kelly yesterday? I mean, it's just, you just go, oh my God, it's a grown man writing a goofy ass post.
I didn't see it.
I love it. I'm the happiest I've ever been.
That's great, man. I mean, you sound really happy, and I mean, like when you watch a special and you watch a guy and you see that he's enjoying it, like you do, you feel it. You know what I mean? It makes you enjoy it more when you can.
Oh, thanks, man.
I mean,
I think that's why I started taking my shirt off also, because I was doing that on the road. That was like what I was doing to get in the moment and have fun. And one of my buddies was like, I asked him what he thought of my special, and this is the first one I did. I was wearing like a black collared shirt, and he was like, I don't know, it just seemed like you were doing what you thought a special should be as opposed to what you should do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, huh? And he was like, I mean, why didn't you do it shirtless? I go, I can't do it shirtless. And so then the next one I did shirtless, and I thank God that Machine story went viral.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great story, but you without the shirt, was that scary? Because, I mean, that's really putting, I like telling a story is putting yourself out there, but without a shirt, I mean, that's quite, literally naked for the audience.
In all honesty, it made me more comfortable, because that's how I performed so many times, for 9 years without a shirt on. So I was more comfortable performing without a shirt. But Showtime, because we did the Machine special for Showtime. Mm-hmm. They very aptly said, we think a lot of people will change the channel. And I was like, no. And then, sure enough, everyone changed the channel. It was like their lowest rated special ever.
I had the opposite effect, honestly. I was flipping through and I saw you without a shirt and I stopped. I was like,
thought that's what would happen to everyone too.
Yes, I was like, what the fuck is happening here?
Yeah,
right now.
They ran away from that.
Wow. So
the urban market walked away literally quicker than anything.
It looked a little bit like German porn was about to start, is what I thought
was
happening.
Shooting for.
Yeah, that's what I thought was happening.
But luckily, that Machine story went viral, and I was shirtless, and it was like more of like an identifier as opposed to anything, or a calling card. It was marketing, oddly enough.
Right, sure. And I mean, honestly, like at first it is jarring because it's not something you're used to, but then it kind of like becomes, that's just part of Bert's act. You know what I mean? That's just Bert. That's just Bert being Bert.
I think if you can do comedy, and this was the first time I ever took my shirt off, a comic that I was with that I really respect, but I won't say his name, said to me, he goes, dude, I couldn't do one joke with my shirt off. I would be so self-conscious. The fact that you don't mention it and you do your whole act with your shirt off, he's like, dude, that says that you're putting out good material.
Right.
And I thought, I'll do that for like 9 years, and then when I do my special, I'll put my shirt on, and everyone's like, oh my God, he's so destructive. But then I go to do the special, and I'm like, I'm not going to wear a shirt for the first time when I do my special.
I just think, man, like, you're right. That's a great point. The fact that you don't mention it makes it even better.
Yeah, it's like if I just went up there and started making fat jokes, then I'm like, okay, I get it. But if you just go into material, take it off, and go, this is how I do it.
Yes. Beautiful. I love it, man. Bert,
thank you.
I think the world of you, and I think the world of all the stuff you do. You're coming here to Jacksonville, and guys, this is the first time he's ever been to Jacksonville. Chris D'Elia hated it here. Cat Williams,
why did he hate it?
I don't know. He went on his podcast after doing the show and just talked about what a toilet Jacksonville was. So I don't know. That's something you have to. But then he beefed with another city and said that it makes Jacksonville look like Bermuda or something. So that's something you have to get with Chris about why he thinks that. But Cat Williams liked it so much he made the first half of his special about the city. So
I know. I watched that. Yeah. And he was like. He literally, I know Jacksonville. I've been to Jacksonville many times. I was like, how long did he spend in Jacksonville?
He knew stuff that I've been here for 13 years that I didn't know. I had to look it up. I was like, is that accurate? But
Fred Durst was like, really?
Yeah. Dude, it is so great that that we're starting to finally get you guys coming through too, and
I'm so excited, man. I've been coming to Jacksonville for the majority of my adult life, and going surfing, hanging out, great food, just such a great culture. It's Florida. Jacksonville is Florida.
Yeah,
it's
for
still
sure.
the biggest stamp of Florida of what it was like in the like 50s and 70s.
Yeah.
And they're anywhere that we have.
Especially with all the racism still, which they're holding on to that. So we got Bert Kreischer coming in, the Florida Theater. You're going to love that place, man. You're going to love performing there. Friday, October 11th. Tickets available at Bert with an E, BERT ×3. Bert, man, I thank you so much. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm a huge fan. Man, I love you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man. I hope to see you at the show.
I will definitely be there, 1,000%.
Awesome. We'll kill a beer.
Oh, I love it. All right, man. I'll see you later.
All right. Thank you.